Okay, so there's another change that they didn't put in the patch notes. Although this is ultimately a good one, it has to deal with splintering. As you had seen me talk about it previously in the skill changes that I wanted to see on the Necromancer, splintering, for whatever reason, applied vulnerable to the first target that it hit as well as every other target that it hit. But if I now go walk up to a monster and hit them with a bone spear, you'll notice that they don't become vulnerable until the bone shards ricochet back and deal damage to that same target. Meaning that the first time that you hit them, they aren't vulnerable. And that's what activates a lot of our damage on Bone Spear, but it also activates an incredibly important aspect for us. So let me just go ahead and show you this, because I want you to see it in game, so you know what I'm jibber-jabbering on about. Notice on this Plague Bearer, hold on, let me kill them here. Okay, so we have this Plague Bearer. Let me get some essence. When I first hit them, they are not vulnerable, and it's not until the bone shards come back that they gain vulnerable. And you might go, oh, okay, well, you know, that's what we kind of expected it to do in the first place. So that's not that bad. But let's think about the aspects that we have that interact with vulnerable status, most notably exposed flesh. Exposed flesh says that it has a lucky hit chance if you hit a vulnerable enemy with a bone skill. And what this means is that if I have a single target that I'm casting bone spears at, like I'll look at this grizzly bear, they are not vulnerable until I'm already casting my third bone spear, and it's until the bone shards bounce back. So those next two casts, depending on the distance that the target is away from me before the bone shards actually bounce back, do not have an opportunity to trigger exposed flesh. And again, when you're firing into a massive group of monsters, that's not a huge problem, but against a single target for the beginning of a fight, that is absolutely a huge issue with just being able to maintain a run and gun play style of actually having enough essence to walk into the next fight. So they fixed another aspect. It now works like it says on the tin. This is ultimately better and more intuitive for people to understand what's happening when they're playing the game. But it is also another secret nerf to Bone Spear that wasn't previously discussed and probably wasn't immediately obvious. But I can tell you that I'm absolutely feeling this against any target that I'm fighting singularly. At the beginning of that fight, I'm just draining essence the entire time and not generating any proactively. So if you've been dealing with that problem and trying to figure out what's happening, that is almost certainly the culprit. It makes the most sense to me, and I'm being able to actually like reproduce it multiple times, not generating essence against that first target until the shards bounce back. So keep that in mind. Hopefully that helps you walking into the season, managing your essence and wondering what's going on. Thank you again for watching the video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.